Hello and welcome to this lecture. In this lecture I will talk about data reshaping. As the quote states, 80% of data analysis work is related to data cleansing and data preparation. In real life you will rather spend your time in this area than actual machine learning model development. And in this context it is often helpful to reshape the data and transform it in a so-called tidy format. This format is suitable for many different tasks. The data is then easier to manipulate, easier to model, and easier to visualize. Another advantage is that new data is simple to add as new observations. White data would require to add additional columns, which is much more difficult in a business environment because it requires a change of the database structure. So what exactly is tidy data? With tidy data, each variable must have its own column. Each observation must have its own row, and each value must have its own cell. This is visualized in the figure. At the left, you see that each variable has its own column. In the middle, you see all observations are found in their own rows, and at the right, you see that each value has its own cell. It gets clearer when we take a look at an example. And we start with the dataset that is not in a tidy format. You can see it at the left side. The opposite of tidy data is white data, and that is what you can see here. We have 3 different students and their grades in different subjects. We have Stuart, Bob and Kevin and their grades in math, sports and arts. Why is this white data and not tidy data? You can see that there are 3 different values for each student in each row. What would it look like in a tidy format? So for this, take a look at the right table. You still have a column named student, but the different subject names, math, sports, arts, are treated as values rather than variables. You find these in the second column called subject. The grades are now found in the third column. So how can we bring this into a tidy format? You can use the gather function from tidyr package. It requires certain parameters. The key parameter refers to the name that represents the column names, in our case math, sports and arts. The value parameter is a character string for the column that will hold the values. Finally, you need to specify the positions of the columns that will be taken for the reshaping operation. In our case, we use the second to fourth column. With this function call, you can reshape our data from the left, white format, to the right, tidy format. And that's it for the lecture. Thank you very much and see you in the next one.